tauiho ngā mana ki tango ki nuni a tātou katoa. E hōnore he kurua oria he mau ngā rongo ki runga ki te mata o te whenua. E whakaro whai ki ngā tangata katoa. Arohaina ngā teina, me ngā tuakana, e nuko nei i runga te whakaro kotahi, whai mani.
Thank you everyone, please take a seat. I ngā mana, i ngā reo, i ngā iwi o ngā hō e whā. Tēnei aku mihi nui ki a koutou. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. No mai haere mai rā ki te whare kawana. I specifically acknowledge the Honourable Dr. Aisha Verrill, Minister of the Crown, a kui apui wāhine tibo, a kaumātua Joe Harawira, tēnā koutou. And I offer a very special welcome to today's honours recipients. It's a real pleasure to host this investiture ceremony and bring together 13 honour recipients, along with their whānau and friends, and the whānau of one recipient who is sadly deceased, to recognise the contributions the recipients have made to our country. As Governor-General, I have the authority and the privilege, on behalf of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of New Zealand, to hold investitures for her and to confer royal honours, our nation's highest honours, on individuals who've made exceptional contributions to their communities and to our nation. Hosting an investiture ceremony is one of the most important duties I perform as Governor-General because it enables me to recognise and thank them on behalf of all New Zealanders for helping to make Aotearoa New Zealand a better place to live. Some recipients have a national public profile. Others will be well known in their particular communities, but what they have in common is the positive impact they've had on the economic, environmental, social and cultural well-being of our nation. I hope this will be a memorable day for you all and for your whānau and friends who've come to celebrate and witness your investiture with you. Catriona McLeod will shortly read citation for each recipient and invite them to come forward to receive their insignia. And ladies and gentlemen, when they do so, I invite you to join me in congratulating and thanking them for their service to our country.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Dame Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Professor Dame Cindy Kiro of Onorahi for services to child well-being and education. Dame Cindy is an academic who has worked in roles focusing on improving life outcomes for children and young people who experience social marginalisation or exclusion. Dame Cindy is the University of Auckland's Pro-Vice-Chancellor Māori and a professor in the Faculty of Education and Social Work. In the past 2 years, she has led 2 critical developments, namely a formal Te Reo Māori policy and committing the university to a Te Tiriti policy. She was the director of StarPath from 2013 to 2016, which was the country's largest project to gather educational data from low decile Māori and Pacific schools. She was the Children's Commissioner from 2003 to 2009. In this role, she instigated several inquiries into child deaths resulting from serious abuse and neglect. As a result, the Child Death Mortality and Family Violence Death Review Committees were established. She also established the Task Force for Action on Family Violence, the largest ever response to family violence in New Zealand, which included 22 government department chief executives and a variety of other high-profile public sector representatives. Dame Cindy chaired the Welfare Expert Advisory Group from 2018 to 2019, undertaking the task of recommending changes to the welfare system to make it more accessible and fair for all New Zealanders. Professor Dame Cindy Kiro, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Dr. Stuart Garland of Nelson for services to health and education. Dr. Stuart Garland developed the concept of a mobile surgical unit for general day surgery in rural communities. He set up the company Mobile Surgical Services and campaigned for funding to establish a mobile surgical bus, which has since operated for 17 years, with almost 25,000 surgeries performed. He pioneered remote collaboration for rural health professionals, using video conferencing for continuing education and to reduce professional isolation. He initiated video conferencing during surgeries or consultations, and the service now offers close to 4,000 hours of training at 70 locations annually. He supported the setup of the New Zealand Telehealth Resource Centre. Dr. Garland is a trustee of the Pat Farry Rural Education Trust and was instrumental in setting up the trust to lobby for improvements and funding for rural medicine. Dr. Stuart Garland, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mrs. Jeannie BG of Christchurch for services to ice figure skating. Mrs. Jeannie BG has made a significant contribution to ice figure skating in New Zealand. She was the National Intermediate Champion 1967 and Senior Ladies Champion 1968 and 69. She later represented New Zealand as a member of the Spectrum synchronised team at the Australian National Championships. She is an accredited national ice skating judge and was an international skating union judge. She has been a New Zealand Ice Figure Skating Association, or NZIFSA, team leader and team official at various international competitions and congresses, and has served in several voluntary administrative roles. She was jointly responsible for introducing the Kiwi Skate Learn to Skate program and has been a volunteer coach. She is president of the Canterbury Masters Figure Skating Club. Most recently, Mrs. BG was the NZIFSA Officials Director. Mrs. Jeannie BG, please come forward. Dr. Christine Foley of Auckland for services to victims of sexual assault. Dr. Christine Foley is a founding member and board member of Medical Sexual Assault Clinicians Aotearoa, MedSAC, New Zealand's expert body in sexual assault and sexual abuse medicine. She has helped to provide training and support programs to clinicians, been a contributing author to the MedSac Manual, co-authored MedSac submissions on the provision of services, and served on many MedSac committees. She has been an examining doctor for forensic examinations for more than 30 years. Advocacy by her and others led to the establishment of dedicated services in Auckland for adults, Pohutakawa, and adolescents, Te Pua Pohutakawa. Dr. Foley contributed to MedSac's advocacy for the establishment of a national funding system for the provision of services, which resulted in the SATS, or Sexual Assault Assessment and Treatment Services contract. Dr. Christine Foley, please come forward. Ms. Jo Randerson of Wellington for services to the performing arts. Jo Randerson co-founded the theatre group Trouble, whose show Bleach was part of the New Zealand Fringe Festival and toured to the Edinburgh Festival and the Tramway Festival. She received the Bruce Mason Award for her first play, Fold. She founded the theatre company Barbarian Productions, whose award-winning shows have played internationally and nationally. Through Barbarian Productions, she has supported projects such as Kids Election, run alongside Te Papa's Suffrage 125 exhibition, and allowing children to have a hands-on look at democracy. Sing It to My Face, a cross-generational choir performance exchanging intergenerational viewpoints, and Political Cuts, a pop-up hair salon offering free haircuts in exchange for political conversations. Ms. Randerson has been involved with a community repurposing a former bowling club as a creative space in Vogelmorn. Ms. Jo Randerson, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Professor Michael Baker of Wellington for services to public health science. Professor Michael Baker is a leading epidemiologist. He is Professor of Public Health at the University of Otago in Wellington, Director of the Health Environment Infection Research Unit, and Co-Director of University's Hei Kainga Ora Housing and Health Research Programme and the Public Health Summer School. He is a member of the Ministry of Health's COVID-19 Technical Advisory Group and the Science Media Centre's Advisory Board. Internationally, Professor Baker is a member of the World Health Organization Regional Verification Commission for Measles and Rubella Elimination and the Australian National Health and Medical Research Council's Centre for Research Excellence on Integrated Systems for Epidemic Response. Professor Michael Baker, please come forward. Mrs. Sandra Jenkins of Wanganui for Services to Education. Mrs. Sandra Jenkins was principal of Freeman's Bay Primary School and led the school's $19 million redevelopment. She is a leader in developing innovative learning environments, presenting at numerous international conferences and discussions. She is a fellow of the Auckland Primary Principals Association, APPA, and chaired the Far North Principals Association. She has been a representative or an appointed member of the New Zealand Educational Institute, NZEI Te Reo Roa, Principal Council, Rural Teaching Principal Network, APPA, and Auckland City Centre Network. She was a volunteer NZEI industrial advocate for Far North Schools and then an associate of NZEI. Mrs. Jenkins was a foundation member of the Global School Alliance. Mrs. Sandra Jenkins, please come forward. Mr. Rodney Jones of Auckland for Services to Economics and Public Health Research. Rodney Jones is a New Zealand economist and analyst whose work has been focused on Asia for the last 30 years. He is a principal of Wigram Capital Advisors, which he established and was previously a managing director and partner with Soros Fund Management, heading up the research office in Hong Kong. His focus has been on the interaction between the financial system and real economies across Asia. During the COVID-19 pandemic, he has provided ongoing modelling of the rate of cases and transmissions nationally and internationally. Mr. Jones's modelling helped to inform the New Zealand government's response to the pandemic, leading to the lockdown in March 2020. Mr. Rodney Jones, please come forward. Ms. Melissa Moon of Wellington for services to athletics and charitable causes. Melissa Moon is a long-distance runner who has won 21 New Zealand athletics titles and twice been World Mountain Running Champion. She has won the World Tower Running Championship and World Vertical Running Championship, and in 2020 was recognized by the World Mountain Running Association as the second-ranked female mountain runner of all time. She participated in the Blue Planet Run Around the World, a 95-day non-stop relay race aiming to provide safe drinking water to 200 million people by 2027. She guided internationally ranked blind runner Maria Williams in the London Marathon. Ms. Moon is a Mulligan Institute ambassador and patron of Project K, a youth mentoring program. Ms. Melissa Moon, please come forward. Mrs. Pauline Smith of Riverton for services to Pacific Arts and the community. Pauline Smith is chairperson of Miharo Murihiku Trust, previously the Murihiku Māori and Pacifica Cultural Trust. She was a founding member of the first Murihiku Polyfest, which has grown to a week-long event, including an annual art exhibition, community projects, art workshops and mentoring, with more than 7,500 youth performing to 40,000 attendees. She authored the book Dawn Raid for Scholastic's My New Zealand Story series, highlighting the controversial raids on alleged Pacific overstayers and the activist work of the Polynesian Panthers, along with an education package to accompany the book. This book led into the touring Polynesian Panthers exhibition, which Mrs. Smith spearheaded. Mrs. Pauline Smith, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal, Dr. Anna Deisel of Hokitika for services to the community and health. Anna Deisel is Secretary and former President of the Hokitika Lions Club. She's been involved with projects for Girl Guides, Scouts, St. John, and seeding community service opportunities for the Department of Corrections. She has helped initiate and run a major New Zealand Children's Day event. She runs the Hokitika Christmas Parade. She supports Westland Industrial Heritage Park, Hokitika Heritage Incorporated, and the Life Education Trust, and is a Wild Foods Festival Committee member. A general practitioner, Dr. Deisel has conducted research on growing a sustainable health workforce and developed standing orders for rural GPs. Dr. Anna Deisel, please come forward. Mrs. Eileen Holt of New Plymouth for services to stroke victims and the community. Mrs. Eileen Holt has helped establish the New Plymouth Stroke Support Trust in 1986. She is current patron and has been a committee member and president. She has organised monthly meetings, outings, activities, and fundraising for hundreds of stroke victims, and until recently produced a monthly newsletter for the Trust's members. She is the secretary of the Norfolk Women's Institute and an active member of the Waitara Savage Club and her local marching team. Mrs. Holt regularly knits singlets for premature newborns at the Taranaki Base Hospital's neonatal unit and beanies for the Norfolk Women's Institute to distribute to schools. Mrs. Eileen Holt, please come forward. Ms. Arohanui Lawrence of Hastings for services to Māori and sustainable food production. Arohanui Lawrence is a key driver of the Auntie's Garden Initiative, a network of Māori and non-Māori sustainable food producers, and was instrumental in the establishment of Auntie's Garden at Waipatu Marae. Auntie's Garden encompasses the sustainable development of Māori land in conjunction with the promotion of Māori-based brand, taking Māori produce and products to market. The online network of producers is aimed to lower entry costs, to facilitate individual Māori entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial collectives to conduct business. Ms. Lawrence has been a public face for the initiative, sharing recipes and knowledge and promoting community food initiatives. Ms. Arohanui Lawrence, please come forward. The late Mrs. Isabel Ransfield of Otaki for services to Māori. The late Isabel Ransfield contributed as a kuia to the cultural health of Manukau and Otaki communities for a number of decades. She had been kuia for Ngāti Wehiwehi with 30 years of service for Wehiwehi Marae at Manukau, even though she was not originally from the hapu. She had an in-depth knowledge of tikanga, tribal history and te reo. She freely gave her time to share knowledge with younger generations. She was a leader for young women in the art of karanga. Mrs. Ransfield represented the iwi at Tangi and Hui throughout the tribal rohi. Mrs. Isabel Ransfield's insignia will be received by her son, Kevin Ransfield. Please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
Our honours system is our nation's highest public affirmation of individual outstanding achievement. It reinforces values and behaviours that sustain our communities and help our nation thrive and prosper. And these include service, courage, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of knowledge and excellence. By using their talents to make ours a better society, whether by service to their communities or by their leadership in diverse fields of endeavour, or their commitment to excellence in their own area of expertise, our recipients have set a fine example to others. To our recipients, it's been a real pleasure to hear your stories today. You've demonstrated determination, commitment and compassion in your daily lives. In your own way, each of you has contributed to the well-being of our people and our nation. And in some cases, your influence and the positive impact of your work has extended beyond our shores. Your actions and the stories we've heard today remind me of the words of another great New Zealander, the late Sir Paul Callaghan, who said, "What greater sense of fulfilment can there be but to make a difference to the community in which you live? It's hard to make a difference in New York. Here, everything you contribute makes a visible difference." On behalf of all New Zealanders, I thank you for helping to make Aotearoa a better place for all of us, whether by dedicating your lives to the public good, achieving distinction in your chosen field, or inspiring others with your leadership. Please wear your insignia with pride, knowing that your contribution is recognised and valued, and others are inspired by your example. Kia ora whiwhi tātou katoa. Thank you, everyone. That's almost the end of the formal part of today's ceremony, but before we break for refreshments, may I ask you to stand and join me in a rousing rendition of our national anthem.